The goal for Lightfall seasons has been set up. Find a way to follow the witness through the portal. Osiris has given us a starting point thanks to the Root of Nightmares raid, and we've put that into motion in these first 2 seasons. Stopping Shadow Legion and learning Savathun needs to be brought back. Today we are going to talk about the remaining 2 seasons though, what we know, the characters and locations involved, and much more. The Root of Nightmares ending scene told us where we need to look to enter the portal. Places the darkness took from us back in Arrivals but have since returned, well, some of them.
Though an unanswerable question remains on all our minds. Where has the witness gone? We must begin our search in the pieces it has left behind. It will not succeed for as long as we remain in existence.
We've already been to Mars back in Seraph and Titan during this season, so that leaves the 2 remaining in Mercury and Io. Mars and Titan though were really important first off. On Mars we battled through these time distortions and eventually would learn the truth thanks to Rasputin, that a hidden city in Neomuna did exist on Neptune, and before his sacrifice we would blow up that Seraph station. Titan being more recent, Sloane survived thanks to the power armor and giant worm Leviathan taking refuge in its oceans. We battle forces of Xivu Arath and learn Asa's message in the end. Savathun is the key and we need to bring her back. So pretty big events. We can assume the Throne World will be involved likely next season if that's when we're bringing Savathun back and hunting down Imaru. But what do we know about Mercury and Io, the 2 locations still engulfed in darkness? Will we need to explore those darkness-infested zones as well, find secrets in their shadows? Let's first start with Mercury. The last time we heard from Brother Vance, he entered the Infinite Forest and fought a darkness version of himself. From the Vance Pasiri card, we see this. After the Guardian left his sanctum for the last time, Brother Vance collected his few belongings and stepped onto the scorching surface of Mercury. He found the entrance to the Infinite Forest easily, as though he had practiced the journey endlessly in his mind, because he had. This time, he went through. The forest roared. He was struck by the dizzying void of it. The echoes made no sense. He took his first step into the hallowed place and fell to his knees, vomiting. He struggled with his pack as the tempest beat on his eardrums. He withdrew his infinite simulacrum, impossibly small in this immense space, and with trembling fingers synchronized it to the frequency of the crack in the forest. It ticked like a metronome, and then... silence. The forest was sealed. Tentatively, Vance felt his way across the enormous stone he stood on. At the same time, he skipped effortlessly from the stone, as if he had done so countless times before. At the same time, he soared. He was moving in every direction, falling, laughing, singing, down every path, into every reality, spreading his message of hope. And the original, the true Vance, felt his infinite parallels erupt from him. He felt them bear up as they passed. "Thank you," he said wordlessly, unable to breathe from joy, and felt 100,000 touches of reassurance. He found he was weeping. There, in the swirl of his golden echoes, Brother Vance lifted his voice and began his song. "Some hope for the..." His own voice answered him from behind. "The future," it continued. Vance leapt toward it. He recognized the feel of his own cloak, and his hands found its throat. Its form twisted, turning cold and sharp beneath his hands. It threw Vance on his back, but he held on. He pushed his hands up the thing's face, under its blindfold, and dug in with his thumbs. It howled. How unfortunate, Vance thought to himself behind his wide smile, that you still have eyes. So from that card, Vance Pasiri, which I believe means songbird or a bunch of birds singing, we see Vance enter the Infinite Forest. He said it's a long journey, but you can kind of see the entrance from his tower. Anyway, He enters the forest and seals it away. He eventually fights a dark version of himself and gouges its eyes out. This character has acquired mass amounts of information on the darkness and the pyramid over Mercury before. He often referred to his texts and prophecies from the cult of Osiris, but he was pretty smart. Some things were like, conspiracy theories, but he did know some things. He spoke to Mara about the darkness potential in Guardians before we acquired darkness powers. And he learned that when Guardians died near the lighthouse, it would emit a sound, which he soon began to study and tied this to the darkness. In the targeted redaction card from this season, when Saint asks Osiris about Brother Vance, Osiris says, "Who?" Like he had no idea who Vance was. There are a couple of theories, but the most interesting one is that Savathun hid the memories of Vance from Osiris after those Beyond Light seasons. The card is called targeted redaction, as if keeping a memory hidden. Now, the question would be why? Is Brother Vance really that important? Does he know something about this infinite forest? Or did Osiris know Vance as a simple fan and not think too much of him? Yesterday, Bungie released the state of the game, and in it, information about a new Crucible map. They say this: for our new PvP battlefield, we wanted to create an asymmetrical map using a Vex environment as a backdrop that could work well for multiple game modes. With the Vex network playing such a crucial role in the story during Lightfall's year, we felt now was the perfect time to deliver this map. Although many of us had been thinking about a lo-fi Vex map for the Crucible, the challenge of this palette was the possible lack of player orientation in the play space. We thought bringing the Mars palette into the Vex network realm would be a great way to mitigate this while adding an evocative look. Narratively, this space is in the middle of compiling the Infinite Forest, so that is what you'll see in action. Watch for footage of this new map at the showcase. So it's interesting that a Vex network map is coming alongside a possible Mercury return. This could just be a cool map design though. I mean, people have wanted a Vex network themed Crucible map for a very long time, and we've had activities like Avalon and missions in Lightfall on the Vex network, so it's not that surprising, but the Infinite Forest part was interesting to me at least. Regardless of Vance's story and if we'd see him or not in the future, the Infinite Forest on Mercury could still be very important. It is said he sealed it away, that was just one entrance, but can it help us learn about the portal and how to enter? Will Savathun upon resurrection be a part of this plan? As we know, the forest was used by the Vex to simulate tons of different realities. This is the place they sort of practice and research what they wanted to achieve in the real world. Find possibilities and reason that can happen in our reality and achieve that ultimate domination, where the Vex win and our dark future is at hand. Can we instead use this machine to find a time or reason to enter the portal for ourselves? Interesting thoughts. So that's Mercury overall. What about Io? On Io we had Asher Mir, the Pyramidion and Tree of Silver Wings and Cradle. Asher, we know, has fully integrated himself into the Vex network. He entered the Pyramidion during Season of the Arrivals, and from the events of Lightfall we see him in the Vex network. He eventually becomes consumed by it to study further.
It will use the data you recovered to open a path to the deepest core of the Nexus. There it will immerse itself in infinite knowledge. It seeks to become one with the truth. It says, Ashemir will not become the truth. The truth will become Ashemir. And this is gone.
So yeah, two options. Either he died, or perhaps he became something more. Which route did Bungie want to take? Further explore his story or finish it here? Io also has points of interest. Near the cradle we have that Tree of Silver Wings, a big topic as of late like the Root of Nightmares. Then you have Vex structures like the Pyramidion, a repository of Vex information and secrets. And it seems like each corner you look recently, the Vex seem to have more of a role in Destiny's future. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Will we return to Mercury and Io in the coming seasons, and what will those storylines involve? It seems like reviving Savathun is the next step, so do we head to Io as Savathun or to Mercury? Back during arrivals on Io, Savathun was involved in that interference when we were trying to communicate with the Darkness and Witness, but she wouldn't let it happen. So maybe we head to Io instead. Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like it, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.